Hey guys, hope you're doing fine. I received some questions and wanted to answer them. First question was, do you recommend gaining muscle or be more flexible before surgery? And how long before I was able to return to light jogging and climbing stairs? So first, let's talk about muscles. So strong leg muscles can help improve blood circulation, which is essential for healing after the surgery. It's all about the blood. So good circulation can also help prevent blood clots after the surgery. So having developed muscles are good for you before and after the surgery. And having good muscles can also help with physical therapy, because if you already have strong leg muscles before surgery, then you will have an easier time with PT. Second part of your question is about flexibility. So flexibility reduces the risks post-surgery complications because you will be required to do regular stretches with physical therapy. And already being a flexible person, it will make it easier for you to go through those exercises. I also have noticed that patients who have good flexibility have an easier time lengthening. That was mainly because as you're stretching, your nerves, tendons, everything else is being stretched as well. But if you're already flexible, those things are already stretched for you, then you can go much farther before you can feel discomfort and pain, compared to somebody like me who was not flexible at all. And I felt the tightness in my legs like 20 days after lengthening, when I start lengthening. So it's being flexible before surgery. The point is that being flexible before the surgery is a good thing. And the final part of your question was, how long before you can return to light jogging or climbing stairs? For me, that was, I was able to climb the stairs with crutches 5 days after the surgery, and 2 months after the surgery, I was able to climb the stairs without crutches. And I was able to do the light jogging approximately 1 month post lengthening. So until I was lengthening, I was not jogging or anything. Once I stopped lengthening, I was able to jog afterwards, about 1 month post that. Second is a two-part question. First is concerns about complications, non-union, muscle pains, and nerve damage. Second part is about the status of my recovery. How are my muscles and nerves, my athletic abilities, and the non-union condition? Okay, so before I answer this, let me go really quickly over why people get cosmetic surgeries. More often than not, they're unconsciously trying to fix a deep-seated insecurities and self-esteem issues. Sometimes we don't realize the emotional and psychological toll that our culture takes on us. And this experience is different for males and females. For girls, look this up. We actually celebrate a National Short Girl Appreciation Day in America on December 21st. There is no such thing as celebrating short guys' days. There's no days for that. So my point is, I look at this surgery more than just a medical procedure, but a way to fix the quality of life. How height affects each of us is different. While for one person, their whole life they have been bullied for their short stature, and the other person may not have felt such a thing, and getting leg lengthening may not be as of a high priority or would make that much of a difference for that person. Which is why making a decision to get this surgery is extremely a visceral and a personal one. So weigh the pros and cons of this procedure, and if benefits outweigh the risks, you should get it. In my case, I knew that if I would get it, I would enjoy my life more. It would add more stars. I was already successful before this surgery, and I felt that it would make me more successful. In fact, I am working on a paper. I'm going to make a video about it on proving that how short people actually work harder to succeed, and getting this surgery actually pushes them further. So back to the question. So how to deal with concerns about complications. You can improve your chances of success and reduce complications by, first of all, selecting the right doctor. I always talk about Dr. Asiag because he's the only orthopedic doctor that I know. But one of the benefits I get from him is that he has fellow orthopedic surgeons with him that he can bounce his ideas off of. There's several doctors at Mount Sinai and the LifeBridge Health, which is why choosing your doctor is a very important first step. Somebody who you click with, somebody you don't think that once you give them the money, they would run away or not answer your questions. I can't tell you like how many times with Dr. Asiag, I had conversations like a friend, not as a doctor and a patient. So select somebody that you click with, The second one is how flexible you are. Do the exercises, try to be as flexible as possible. Kind of like those yoga people, they stretch their legs, spread their legs. Kind of like, I always think of like a ballerina who can do splits. And if they were lengthening their legs, boy, they would have such an easy time. So be as flexible as possible, exercise, squats, develop muscles in your legs. Smoking. So keep in mind, smoking causes the narrowing of your veins, arteries, and stuff. And smoking can affect the blood circulation, poor blood circulation in your body, which in turn can affect healing, which is why make sure that if you're smoking, you should quit as soon as possible, and because it can affect your healing. And do a full blood panel. Go to your PCP, go to your primary care physician, and request a full blood checkup, and see that if there is any issues. Check your cholesterol, and see that if you need to fix that and correct any deficiencies in your blood or body. And then another way to decide that if you want this surgery or not is spend a little bit of money and go to a therapist. Speak to therapist and go through your routine and issues and wants, everything, and discuss with the therapist to put in perspective that is this surgery something that you really want? Would this surgery really help you improve the quality of your life? And trust me, that will give you a perspective that you may not have before. All right, what else? Second part of the question was about my situation. So I want to say that our legs act like levers, and our muscles develop in proportion to handle that lever. When you lengthen your femur or your tibias, you're basically changing the way your levers used to be, the way they used to function. Think about it. If I am sitting and before I used to get up very easily, and now you have lengthened my femurs, and now I am getting up with the same force as before, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's going to require more force. It's simple physics, You're changing how the lever works in your legs, which is why once you get surgery, you will always require to develop muscles and require your body to adjust to your new height, which is why your dexterity that you used to have before surgery may not always be there, and you're going to have to work real hard. I'm not an athletic person. I was not an athletic person before surgery in any way. So I cannot say that if my ability has suffered or not, but I do play golf and that seems to be fine, you know. My biggest scare in this surgery was the non-union. You know, boy, I still remember, you know, there's three main phases for leg lengthening surgery: the surgery itself, the lengthening phase, and the consolidation. A non-union is a complication that can occur during the lengthening phase, when the surgery basically breaks your bone, your femur, so like it's broken, and now in lengthening phase, you're slowly lengthening your bone. So a non-union is a complication that happens during the lengthening phase. As the bone gradually elongates, the new bone tissue grows to fill this gap, resulting in a longer bone. However, in my case, the new bone was not forming. That means that as I would lengthen more, the gap would increase, but without any new bone in between. And as we were doing the x-rays, we were staring at this big old gap. So non-union can happen if there is not an appropriate amount of stress. Too much or too little, a bone not gonna grow. Or if the bone is not receiving enough blood supply, because keep in mind, I mean, this works exactly the same way you get the cuts on your body. You know, the callus forms, the new blood comes in, and it becomes crispy, and then the new skin comes in. It's exactly the same way. When you produce this gap, and you have a gap in your bone, the blood comes in, fills it, and then slowly the callus forms. So it can be because of not having enough blood supply, or it can also be if a patient has a medical condition that affects a new bone growth, like diabetes or osteoporosis. So in diabetic patients, you know, there is always a scare for these kind of things. The question is that if it happens to you, what do we do? Well, we solve, there's many ways you can solve non-union. You can put a bone graft in it, you can put a mesh in. So we have a technology like that, except of course it would cost you money to do that. In my case, we solved my non-union by waiting, monitoring, and letting it heal itself. And finally, I'm at a stage where I can have the nail removal surgery. In fact, my surgery is in the next couple of weeks, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna tell you guys how it goes. It's an outpatient surgery, which means I'm gonna go get the surgery done, and then same day I'm out. And looking forward to it to put an end to my full journey of femurs. So, all right, guys, until next time, take care. Shalom, lehitrot. Until next time, we'll see you. Take care. Bye.